Tonight, a major change in the WSU athletic department sees Bill Moose leaving.
And an explosion in Somalia that left over 300 people dead.
And find out how one Pullman tattoo parlor celebrated Friday the 13th. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Baker.
And I'm Elizabeth Medina. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
Last weekend, both Washington State University and the University of Washington were undefeated top 10 teams, and now they each have that faded one loss on their record. The Cougars lost to Cal in upsetting fashion, 37-3, while the Huskies also lost to an unranked school in Arizona State. UW dropped to number 12 in the AP National Poll, and Washington State dropped to number 15, 4 spots behind USC, who they just defeated. Both teams are also now tied for second place in the Pac-12 behind Stanford. The Huskies and Cougars will face off this year in the Apple Cup on November 25th. Along with the crushing loss to Cal, Washington State will be losing their athletic director as Bill Moose is leaving WSU to become Nebraska's athletic director. Moose agreed to a 5-year contract with Nebraska that pays an annual base salary of $1 million plus incentives. WSU officials and WSU President Schultz were blindsided by Moose's departure when they found out on Twitter on Sunday morning. Sources say no one knew he was leaving.
Halloween has pumpkins, Thanksgiving has turkeys, and apparently Friday the 13th has tattoos. Reporter Majestic Storm tells us why so many people were standing outside a local tattoo shop on this unlucky day.
It's not very often that Friday the 13th shows up on the calendar, especially in the already spooky month of October. Even though many consider Friday the 13th to be one of the most unlucky days of the year, it seems that it was quite the opposite at Diamond Blood Ink Tattoo.
It's the best way to get your name out there. Everybody's looking for a cheap tattoo, unfortunately. So there's not a lot of Friday the 13th in a year.
These hands were busy, working a 10-hour shift, one tattoo after another. Chris is no rookie, though. He's been tattooing for over 14 years and was expecting nothing less than a very busy day. On Friday the 13th, you can't just get any tattoo that you would like. You must select one of these designs that have been created for this special day. But instead of spending $60 or more, you only have to spend $31. Smiles and laughter filled the air as many said this day was actually pretty lucky.
The 13th is actually like my luckiest day of the year, and this isn't my first tattoo, so there's not even any nerves about it.
It's been a good day so far. I love this type of weather, and I woke up and I watched Supernatural. It's been a good day, so I feel good vibes, even though it's Friday the 13th.
Tattoos weren't the only reason people kept on coming, though. Belly button and nose piercings were also quite popular. Nearly 100 people got tattoos today, and in a small town like Pullman, that number is rare. It seemed to me that in the ink culture, the superstition on this special day has rather turned into an ink tradition. Majestic Storm, Murrow News 8.
Several groups are urging lawmakers to help recover health care budget costs after President Donald Trump's decision to end federal aid towards insurance costs. Federal aid allows insurance companies to reduce out-of-pocket costs for low and middle-income people. President Trump said his decision could help millions of people find access to cheaper insurance plans, but health groups like insurance companies and the American Medical Association say that millions will face higher premiums, fewer choices, and less access to the medical care they need. When we come back, a truck bomb in Somalia is going off and leaving hundreds injured.
And find out what's inside the meals being sent to Puerto Rico. We'll be right back.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
Dad's home!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Don't worry. The 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play more. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
More than 300 people died and about 400 are left injured from an explosion in Somalia's capital over the weekend. About 70 people are believed to be missing based on accounts from relatives. The blast came from a truck on a crowded street. Doctors are working to help continue the search for victims and treat wounded survivors. The Somalian government believes the Islamic extremist group Al-Shabaab is one of the blame for the attack, but no one has claimed responsibility.
Puerto Rico is still in shambles weeks after Hurricane Maria devastated their island. But while the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, is still helping in Texas and Florida, Puerto Rico does not share the same support. In response, the White House has approved meals to go to Puerto Rico. These meals contain what is to be called a balanced diet of Vienna sausages, a Nutri-Grain bar, and Skittles. The 11,000 firefighters battling wildfires in California are starting to gain control. The two largest fires in the state are about 60% contained, and the rain predicted this week should continue to die down the fires. The damages in Sonoma County alone are estimated to be over $3 billion.
Las Vegas is seeing a dramatic drop in tourism after the massacre on October 1st. Electronic billboards that typically promote concerts, drinking and gambling, and restaurants are not being shown. Instead, boards are dedicated to phone lines for victims and their families, along with words of appreciation for the first responders and casino employees.
After the break, Brittany McIntosh will give us our 5-day forecast.
And find out the latest stories and headlines from the NFL.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebird? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun? Whoa, 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 whoa. Can you feel the sun?
With winter approaching, those raincoats might be coming in handy sooner than expected. Brittany, what can we anticipate throughout this week?
Thank you, Derek. Yeah, today we did see the sun peer up a little bit, but right now it is a little chilly with that cloud covering that good old sun. We did have that low of about 53, but that high of 64. Moving on to tomorrow, we will see some wind. There is a wind advisory from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. with winds up to 50 miles an hour. So definitely need to bundle up for that one because it's definitely going to be a windy one. Moving on to our state map, we can see over here we have Seattle, Olympia, rain is coming. Usually it's going to be about showers during the day, but could continue through the nighttime. As we're coming over to eastern Washington, we see that the sun is here. The clouds are covering a little bit, but the temperatures aren't too low. We see a spike in temperatures about 70 degrees in Yakima, 64 in Pullman, 65 in Spokane. So definitely sun is a little bit nice, but I would grab a little coat just in case. Moving on over to our 5-day forecast, we can see that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, unfortunately, we do have some rain. That wind is coming back around Friday. It's going to be about 22 miles an hour. But luckily for those Coug fans, on Saturday, there will be no rain. It is going to be a little chilly, though. I would grab a nice coat and bundle up for the game on Saturday night. But fortunately, on Sunday, that rain is coming back. Hopefully, throughout the later weeks, that rain will be uplifted. But for now, I would definitely grab those coats, and hopefully, it won't be that bad. That's about it for weather. Head back to the desk.
When we come back, the woman who was allegedly assaulted by Nelly speaks out.
And some injury and lawsuit storylines from the NFL.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning, 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash, 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
The woman who accused rapper Nelly of sexual assault dropped the charges over the weekend. The alleged attack happened in Nelly's tour bus last week after a concert in Seattle. The woman said she did not feel safe pursuing criminal charges against a celebrity for the alleged rape. Nelly's lawyer said the rapper was the victim of a fabricated allegation which was motivated by greed and vindictiveness. Former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick is filing lawsuit against the NFL for collusion. Kaepernick feels the owners have joined together to deprive him of employment. Kaepernick hired his own attorney, Mark Garagos, who has also represented Michael Jackson and Chris Brown, and then sent a copy of the complaint to all 32 teams and the NFL Players Association.
Aaron Rodgers could miss the rest of the NFL season after breaking his right collarbone. It broke when Minnesota Vikings linebacker Anthony Barr hit him in the first quarter Sunday night. If Rodgers elects to have the surgery, his season will be all but over, but doctors believe that his collarbone could heal on its own, which would put Rodgers back in about 6 to 8 weeks. The Packers will look to third-year QB Brett Hundley to keep the Packers' playoff hopes alive. Tennessee Titans wide receiver Rashard Matthews won't actually quit if NFL owners make a rule requiring players to stand for the national anthem. Matthews threatened to quit in a tweet earlier this week, but has since deleted it. The NFL said it has no plans to enforce rule changes for the players to stand for the anthem. Man, I got to tell you, my fantasy team is devastated right now thanks to that Aaron Rodgers injury, as well as the Packers' playoff hopes in my mind.
Really? So how do you think that's going to play off?
Yeah, they're not going to make it. That's my guess. Thank you for watching. Join us every weeknight at 7 and 10 for Pullman's only nightly newscast.
Have a great night, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Good night, Pullman.